All right, I'm gonna have to calm down a little bit because this is the fight that I want to talk about the absolute most, and there's still an entire main card to talk about. But Shavkat Rakhmonov, this is the guy I've been waiting to talk about. I still have an entire main card to get through, but this is by far one of my favorite prospects in the UFC. Best friends with Rafael Fiziev. Looks like Kazushi Sakuraba. I mean, I don't think there's a fighter I could fall in love with more. You look at his fight with Cowboy Oliveira. What did I love about that? I mean, not only was he the M1 champion coming into that fight, defended everything, undisputed, if you will, but the man was seeing everything. Cowboy was trying his best to, be competitive. But the way that Shavkat can see strikes, it was absolutely beautiful. Even against the fence, when you watch him land that body shot, which pretty much set up the submission, it was picture perfect. Oliveira, tough as nails, always trying to fight through all of these injuries and pains that he suffers in the fights, but zero chance. Rakhmonov did not lose poise for even a second, was able to dictate where the fight went, how it went. And the moment he landed that shot, he was able to get the right shots and get it to the ground and finish via submission. It was such a good round of fighting when you really think about that being his first UFC fight, his debut, coming in from Russia. I mean, like I said, best boys with Fiziev. Those guys are guys you have to check out. I talked about them a little bit more on the UFC Prospect Watch for June. If you haven't checked it out, this is our last card for the month. But, I mean, you can't ask for more than that. Both of them are training at Sanford MMA right now. They're clearly putting in the work. If you haven't checked out their Instagrams, by all means do that. They've been training for a very long time. So, Michel Prazeres. Let's get into him a little bit, right? One of the most pristine 26-3 records you'll ever see, right? Only losses, most recently to Ismail Nurdiev, and then Kevin Lee, and get this, debut against Paulo Thiago. I mean, literally, Paulo Thiago, the Brazilian cop himself, ends up taking out another newcoming Brazilian cop in Michel Prazeres. What a fight. What an enjoyable experience, I'm sure, for the both of them and for their, fellow countrymen in Brazil. But the guy's record is insanely good. I mean, the Bartosz Fabinskis and the Zach Cummings of the world might not speak volumes of just quality, but the guy did it so late in life, and you have to respect that. Now, you really want to start talking about what happens when you hit that, ceiling of talent. And I think the Nordiev fight was very much one where he was humbled a little bit. You talk about how wild he can be with his striking, but he's got a good ground game. And that's where I felt like he was going to find some success. But when you look at that fight, the volume coming from Nordiev, the defense, his ability to find range and then make Prazeres miss for most of the fight was so key. And I think that's exactly the game plan that Rakhmonov can pull off here. You keep him at bay. You don't worry about the takedowns. You're a powerful striker. You're a smart striker. It's just, I don't see any reason for this not to be a solid 3-round war on the feet, with Shavkat avoiding as many takedowns as possible and tiring out Prazeres in the process by landing big to the body, landing good kicks, and obviously throwing those hands. Now, I've seen him in highlights for M1, getting to the ground, having to find some, adversity in there and getting the fight back to the feet, or even trying to find submissions, things like that. That's the part where I think Prazeres really needs to force his game plan, right? Don't be afraid of the distance striking. Get in there and do damage. Hit the body. Get those legs, tired with some good, powerful leg kicks. That's the cool thing about Prazeres, right? No matter how old he is, he just seems to be a powerful truck coming into the octagon. And I think that's where you're going to see just how good he is, because if he cannot close the distance on Shavkat, think about it. There's a 10-inch reach disadvantage here. Guy's got like 7 inches in height on him. This is a very lopsided fight for me, just from a size and skill perspective, at least in the current spectrum of things. But then you have the experience, you have the ground game of Prazeres that can really turn this fight around. It would not blow my mind if Shavkat's first career loss was to the Michel Prazeres of the world, and shouldn't be, feeling bad about that either, because it's going to be a tough fight if he does pull that win off. I don't think he can finish him. I think that, Rakhmonov's ability to just push through fights, win or lose, it's just he's such a durable guy, and I think that's where Prazeres is going to find struggles in keeping that distance, having to sit and eat strikes for 3 rounds. He's going to have to push forward, push the pace, and really start to land some of his own blows before maybe working it to the ground and keeping him there. Because if he can't finish, a 3-round grind against a guy like Shavkat Rakhmonov is not something you need to be worried about. Oh my God. You know, the worst part about missing the lines and having to wait till we record is because you miss lines like this. Michel Prazeres opened as a plus 170 dog and Shavkat opened as a minus 200 favorite. That line has jumped 100 points. So now Shavkat's sitting at a minus 305, minus 310, with Prazeres sitting at a plus 245. Some places give it you a plus 230, but huge jump from now is minus 200 and plus 170 opening lines. I'm a little disappointed I missed out on that. I actually, despite how much I'm bumping Shavkat right now, would find it difficult to bet that minus 305, only because you're seeing a minus 200 line as an opener, and then you're like, oh my God, was it worth that? Well, I guess it was, because of how many people jumped on that minus 200 line. So you obviously know where I stand, both skill-wise and heart-wise. You can pretty much assume that that pick is ready to go. I just see very limited ways of Prazeres winning that fight. And to be quite honest, the way that Rakhmonov can defend those areas tells you that he should have a lot of success there. So stay tuned for that one. I guarantee you it's not only the best fight of the prelims, but it's going to set us up really well for the main card. I don't think there's going to be a better fight for me personally, so don't mind me if I start to lose a little bit of energy here, but